Hi guys, welcome back to Subto Shauna. This is the way, episode 34, I believe. Right? Today I have Casey Savage with us. Hello, Casey.
Hey, how
What
you
a
doing?
killer name.
Thank you.
That's like a Hollywood name. Casey Savage.
It was a fun name when I played football through high school. Announcers loved saying my name.
There you go. I mean, at first I was like, is that the name that he picked or made up, or is that his real name? Because it's just so cool, you know?
Yeah, my real name is Waldo Esperian. No,
Right. I almost believed
I
you.
don't look like a Waldo, so I chose Casey.
But hey, we all know where's Waldo, right?
That's right. He's right here, right now.
Right.
Okay, that's a lie. That's not my real name.
Right. Is it really spelled like that, Casey?
It is actually legally big K, little C.
Wow. I like it. Your parents must be so interesting. I love that. Okay. So let's KC Savage is a Subto community member, a Gator, an owners club member, but and a real estate investor focusing on RV parks.
Yes.
Nice. So tell us about when did you join Subto and why? Like, how did you discover Pace and when was it? And what made you decide it was right for you?
Well, we actually discovered Pace, my wife, Terry, who is my rock. She is, I tell everybody, she's the brains of the outfit. I'm just muscle. When I was younger, I was her arm candy, but she has always been the smarter one in the room. When there's just two of us there, that's where all the brain power is her. She's phenomenal. But we were traveling semi-retired for the previous 7 years to now. And about, I guess, 9 months, 10 months ago, we were talking about getting back into investing and looking at different people that are, mentorships and all that. And she finds this guy called pacemorby. And it's about, we're sitting there, she's looking at her stuff on YouTube and said, hey, check this thing out. I'm going to bed now. And she hands me her iPad and it's pacemorby. Never even heard about him. So I'm looking at his junk and checking reviews. And I was like, man, this guy's legit. Because we've seen a lot of, we've kissed a lot of frogs in the mentorship.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
And
So what made you think he was legit? Like, what was the clue?
Well, the big clue was what everybody said about him. Bigger pockets, people have good comments on him. Just across the internet, it's easy to weed out the people that just have a bad attitude. But that was a very seldom thing when it came to Pace. So I'm sitting there, and this was basically his ad for Gator. And I'm like, well, this isn't that expensive. Get out the credit card, sign up. Terry wakes up in the morning. She goes, what'd you think? I go, I signed up. She goes, what? She goes, you signed me up? I said, I think so, but I'm not sure. So we became Gators first. Gator's a great program, but it just wasn't what we were looking for. And so we got into the community.
Wasn't enough.
We started doing all the meetups and that type of stuff and realized we should probably be in Subto. And so just before Squad Up, we got a phone call asking us, hey, you guys going to finally join Subto? And it was a great conversation because he told me what it was going to cost us. And I told, oh gosh, I forget the guy's name. He's one of the leaders in all the sales part. I told him, yeah, I'll pay that amount of money, but I want terms. So that's Pace's thing, right? And so I told him, I'll give you this much today, and then I will pay you this much over the next amount of months. And I want 2 hats. And he just laughed. He said, you know what? Usually we don't do that, but you said all the right words. Yes. So they set it up that way. We joined. We got our 2 hats, and we've been thrilled ever since. It's been the best change in our relearning investing that we've come across. We used to, way before the market crashed, we were flippers. Dozens of houses that we flipped, and love doing that. I'm a general contractor, So that was exciting for us. And then getting into sub two, it's giving us a way that we can get actually back into the hands-on meat and potatoes part of it.
Right. And where are you located?
Currently, my W-2 employer probably doesn't like me to say currently, but I'm currently in Canoga Park, California, which is northwest LA. When you look at the big glob of LA, go to the northwest corner, that's Canoga Park.
Okay, gotcha. Have you guys raised your family there, or you just kind of move around?
Oh no, we were Central Valley, Stockton, Lodi area. Love that area. Raised two beautiful kids. They're now adults now. They're now giving me grandbabies, and that's why we're in this area, because I got grandbabies.
Oh, yeah. Oh. So what are we know your passions and the areas of focus is RV parks. Tell us a little bit about that. You're looking for RV parks in general. Do you guys go RVing? What are your reasons for really loving RV parks, and what has them making you raise an eyebrow?
Yeah. Try to not make this a real long story, but the simple background is after the crash in '08, we were reinventing ourselves, trying to figure out what to do. Terry decided, because she's a real estate broker, she wasn't going to kick people out of their houses and do foreclosure. So she started doing short sales. She did hundreds of them. For me, being a general contractor, there's no work. So I get my license, I'm helping her out, but I'm also looking for something else. And an opportunity fell in our lap to purchase a RV park. My daughter likes me to say RV resort. It sounds fancier.
Right.
A little bougie when you say resort. Up in Central California, a little town called Arnold, California. When you look at the map, you see Lake Tahoe and Yosemite. We're smack dab in between them, 5,000 feet, trees, snow, all the fun. And we picked that up. Loved it, fell in love with it. We, before that, had an RV for 25 years and got to a point where we realized we didn't want to do that anymore. Actually, it was a conversation after having the place for about 7 years. We had a big snowstorm, had a power failure, and on about the third night of not having power, Terry and I are playing cards or dominoes with that LED lantern that's about to go dead. But I can still see the table and I can still see her face. And right in the middle of the game, she pushed herself away from the table. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Honey, I don't know where you're going to be next year, but I'm not going to be here." That prompted me to realize I got to do something after 27 years of marriage training to make sure I handle this thing correctly. And I put the park up for sale. We funded our retirement by selling the park, bought an RV and started traveling. And we traveled for, like I said earlier, 7 years until we found pace. Started having grandkids, landed in LA, and just loving life.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before or not, but I know I'm telling you for the first time. I also have future plans to acquire an RV and travel.
Nice.
So I'll have to reach back out to you and get some tips and tricks and stuff.
Okay. And that's the fun thing about this and why I was excited. And let me thank you for inviting me to be on your show. As we're all trying to learn social media, I've been lagging on that, and this will be the first time I've ever been on social media. And I'm very thrilled that I'm able to do it with you, just because of what I've heard. Everybody loves you in the community. And so I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. May I look like a total fool? I really don't care. I'm just having a lot of fun.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much. And welcome to the Sub 2 community. You said you kind of joined like right before Squad Up.
Yeah.
I was there. Wow, what an event, right? I mean,
oh yeah, it was phenomenal. I had the good fortune last week to have a one-on-one with Pace. Wow, how does a knucklehead like me get a one-on-one with Pace? Just dumb luck into it, I guess. But it was nice because I was able to let him know what a great job his team did on running Squad Up. because Terry and I, during the crash and all that fun stuff, reinventing ourselves, we actually got involved in the mentorship, personal development, all these seminar industries, and got to be back scenes helping out. And on the second day of Squad Up, I found out that his team had never really run anything of that magnitude before. They did such a phenomenal job. I was blown away.
They totally did. Totally did. Yeah. So, you're in other programs besides the Subto community, right? You're in the Gator program. And that's a lot of people, kind of join Gator first, and that's kind of like a stepping stone. But like you said, when you joined Gator, you knew that wasn't enough. You had to take the plunge instead of just dipping your toe in the water and join Subto. Right? And then, so the Owners Club, of course, you joined at Squad Up, right?
Yes. I think I was one of the first people at the table.
Yeah. I was like kind of bummed out I couldn't do that. It's very limited, but I mean, who knows what else he's got. I heard him say before, we are at phase 7 of 26 phases or something like that he has mapped out for Subto and its growth. I mean, we're only in year 4, you know what I mean? I can't even imagine what these other phases are coming down the road. But and then of course he might even add some on the way. Who knows? I mean,
he most likely will.
Yeah, I'm sure. So what's been your biggest struggle so far, and how did you overcome it, or is it still a work in progress?
Yeah, this is something that Terry and I, fortunately, are just about over. And it's the thing that I'm sure a lot of people go through. It's that shiny object FOMO syndrome. I hear like, hey, she's doing that. Maybe we should do that. And he's over there making a bunch of money. Maybe we should do that. And it's like, but that's not really us. And so we've been able to, with doing all the trainings, going through stuff in Subto. I'm feeling horrible because I'm not remembering our MSA's name, but he was phenomenal. The MSA is the guy that helps you out in your first 60 days of Subto. Weekly calls were phenomenal with him, always helping us with answers and getting us in the right direction. So awesome program that they released for everybody that's joining now, because I know you guys really originally didn't have that so well. But yeah, he was great and helped us get focused. And Terry, it's funny, we refer to ourselves as a two-headed monster because
it's true.
We work together, but she goes in one direction and I go in another. I'm an RV park guy. I love RV parks. She supports me in that. She's awesome for that. But that's not her thing. She likes helping people in real estate. So she's doing pre-foreclosure. And when she found Caroline Kane and Michael Franke, their whole way of doing things spoke to her. And it was like a bright street light came on and just shined on her, that now she knows exactly the direction she wants to go. And there is no more FOMO. There's no more shiny object.
And she's a realtor, you said?
Yeah, she's a real estate broker in California.
Okay. Does she have like teams under her, or is she just like a licensed broker?
She's a licensed broker. She has in the past had people working for her, but up until when we bought our resort and moved out of our town, she had only had one agent working for her. And we actually, it's funny. He's a sweetheart kid, grew up with our kids. He was actually, while working for her, got his broker's license, but continued to work for her. And Terry and I are having a conversation. It's like, he's paying us, which is nice, but he doesn't need to pay us. Mm-hmm. So we agreed to have a conversation with him and tell him, dude, go out on your own. Put all the money in your pocket. You're raising a family. You're doing things. We will always be here to help, but you don't need to keep paying us part of the money you're making. And
See,
so,
that right there tells me that you and your wife are total 1000% sub-to material,
thank
because
you.
that's how we are. You are where you belong.
Well, thank you. It's, and
Yeah.
this is what I'm loving about Sub 2. It's, it's a term, but it is a community that we support each other.
Yeah. Subject to our own terms, right? In
Oh, I
light.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I haven't heard that before, but that is so spot on. Yes.
I didn't bring that. Pace made that up.
Yeah.
But the first thing, besides sub two, I mean, one of his buddies was explaining to him subject to the existing financing, and Pace, was like texted him back, "Oh my gosh, this is great." And then his buddy texted him back, "Sub two, baby," with this emoji. And that's how the emoji came, and that's how the symbol came up. But then later on, when he was telling us about, finding the bunnies, do you know that story?
I know the bunny story.
Yeah. So when he was telling us that story, he was like, "You know what else this stands for?" We're like, "What?" Like, "The bunny ears, find the bunnies." And we were like, "Oh, yeah, that is
Yes.
gangster." And now he's also added, it also means sub to community. We live life subject to our own terms. So,
I love
yeah, it
that.
has a lot of meaning. Yeah, I love it too. It's awesome. So, what are you looking for right now to level up in your business?
In my business, the RV part of it is, naturally trying to find deals. And, but mostly what we realized and what Pace helped guided me on my one-on-one with them is capital raising. When I bought my park, right now my park, if I were to sell it, if I still owned it and sold it, it would probably sell for a couple $1 million. When I purchased it, I only paid around $400,000 for it. So back then in 2012, you could buy just about any park in the country. They were very affordable. It was a underappreciated asset. But now it seems to be, quasi seller's market. And so you're watching your numbers. Underwriting is the key. So this is advice I give. You might ask this question later, but as I'm thinking about it, the one big advice I give to anybody that's looking to get into RV, mobile home, and I also call trailer parks, that's long-term people in RVs. Learn underwriting. Underwriting is the key because things are so tight in this industry. A simple mistake in underwriting can cost you lots of money. So
Oh, and RV parks, that's a whole new ball game, right?
yeah, RV parks are interesting because they are very, very unique. It's very transient. Um, the biggest thing once you own an RV park is knowing how to market to keep your park full. And
Mm.
that's if you're not full, you're not making money. It's like your vacancy factor on an apartment. If you can't keep your apartment full, you're bleeding money. So marketing is key. For me, where we had no internet. We had a landline phone because we're way up in the mountains. I made all my own reservations after people would call and leave a message. And my marketing was me selling the vision of a person's experience when they came to the park in my first interaction with them, which was a phone call.
So we're going to talk about that, advertising your RV parks after the show. Remind me, okay? Because I have an idea that I've been stewing on. I think it could help you. I've been thinking about it for a while. All right. Um, so, are you looking for people to JV with? Like, you're underwriting RV parks. If, say, someone like me, perhaps, wanted to acquire an RV park, would you be up to like JVing with someone? Like, if they bring you the deal, helping to underwrite it, and so on and so forth. Are you looking for
Yes.
JV partners with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. It is. It was an interesting thing at Owners Club. I had the good fortune to be able to speak for just a minute in front of everybody, and Pace afterwards was explaining some things and helping clarify what I had said. And he did say, yeah, he's definitely always look to JV. There is always going to be those opportunities. There are people that want to get into this industry that have no idea about it. So they have fears. I do calls with people, at least 2 a week, of people that are just looking to get into this. And please, my information will be up there. Contact me. I love to help.
Yeah, speaking of, let's put your information up here.
Oh, thank you.
And also, by the time this episode airs, the actual links for all the ways to get a hold of you will also be in the show notes in the description box below. So viewers will be able to go right in there and just click right on it and go right to you.
Oh, perfect.
So you'd like people to reach out to you that are interested in, JVing on RV parks. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. If they're looking to JV, if they have a deal that they just want to get an assignment fee, whatever they're looking at, I speak probably 75% of the people I speak with they've found a deal and they don't really need me. They just need somebody to remind them that, okay, check your underwriting and, napkin, back of envelope underwriting. It sounds like a good deal, but do your underwriting and you don't need me, but I'm always here for you as you get going in this to say, hey, Casey, what do you think about this? And let's talk about that. Because, my goal is to help, because I'm not young. Look at this gray hair here.
I can relate.
At my age, I really just want to make sure everybody is doing good. And I believe in the way, something will happen on that will pick up stuff. That's just how this works. But I'm here to help. That's what I like to tell you. I'm here to help. And don't ever be embarrassed with any question you have, your newness in anything. And the only way you're going to learn is to talk to somebody. So give me a shout.
Perfect. So are you just doing the RV parks, or are you also doing single family homes or multifamily or businesses or anything like that? Or are you just kind of focusing on RV parks right now?
I am focusing on RV parks. But what ends up happening in this industry is when you get into zoning and permitting, a lot of times an RV park is actually permitted as a mobile home park that allows RV. And so I look at mobile home parks also.
I'm so glad you brought that up because, yeah.
Yeah. So as an asset class, mobile home parks are just like simply, they're a version of apartments where if you're fortunate and folks that are in sub 2, there was a semester's badge for mobile home parks that Dustin and Spencer did. Phenomenal job. It was just I was so impressed with those guys. I would be about to write something in the chat from a question somebody asked, and then they said the exact same answer I would have wrote. So these guys know their stuff. So if you can still get in on it semesters, even if you're looking to buy an RV park, go to the mobile home park semesters and do that. I think it's only 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah. So at the time it was live every single week, but
Yes.
it's still in the Kajabi course thing. You just can't ask questions live is all. And you could still get the badge doing the homework and stuff like that.
But
So
Dustin and Bo and let's see, I remember the other 2 guys, a guy and somebody else. They do throughout the calendar in a month. They do underwriting for mobile home RV parks. Look for them on the calendar. It shows up. I think it shows up under top tier TC somehow or something like that. But they do underwriting and they do help for folks that are looking at buying mobile home parks. And RV parks happen on there too, which is phenomenal.
So 2 questions. And I'm going to say them real quick just so I don't forget with my ADHD because I'm not medicated. Anyway, one of them is when you do mobile home parks, do you do have the mobile homes there and rent them out, or do you just have the land and people buy their own mobile home to put in there? And then the other question was, do you like to buy land and establish an RV park, or do you just like to buy them already set up with water and sewer and all that stuff run to them? I hope that's not too much. Let me write that
No,
down.
that's two great questions. I'll remember both of them.
Okay.
The simple one is on mobile home parks. Most folks that own them, and actually, so I can live in LA, I manage a 151 space mobile home park. That is for, in California, we have to say age qualified. We're not allowed to say a senior park because that's derogatory. But I'm a senior, so I don't really care. But anyway, so at this
You're
park,
a senior.
yeah, I'm
I
old.
thought you were like my age.
No, I'm old. I got you beat by at least 20 years easy.
Really?
I'm in my 60s. I'm looking at Medicare.
Oh, you don't got me beat by 20 years. I'm 53.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have guessed.
I don't feel like I'm 53, but apparently
that's
I
the
am.
important thing. So, so mobile home parks, the one I'm running is everybody here owns their mobile home, their mobile estate, whatever you want to call it, and then they pay the park rent to be here. As far as an ownership, that is kind of the preferred way to do it because it's simply this. I only worry about the park facilities and park underground utilities. I don't have to worry about if their toilet's backed up, if their sink's not working, if there's an electrical problem. That's their responsibility.
Right.
So the best, which is my own opinion on this, is a park that's all owner occupied and no renting, no subleasing. So the owner has to live in the home.
Okay.
So
yeah, the owner has to live in the mobile home. They can't rent it out to someone else.
Exactly. So they have ownership in the community at that point. They're here, they care, they see what's going on.
Gotcha. And you usually buy ones that are already established?
And that's a great question because I'm partnering with one of the members, and I honestly don't remember. I know he's Owners Club, and I think he's Gator. I don't know if he's Subto. Sean, and I always slaughter his last name. I will never get it. It starts with a Z. Sean Z.
Right, with Sean Z.
Yeah. Great guy, great capital raiser, just a super personality. We're actually working on a program to help people who want to purchase land and build their own park. So that is something to do. The difference on the two plays, whether you buy a park that's established, whether it's a mobile home park or an RV park. First, mobile home parks, most municipalities will not allow you to have one because there's tax and different things that are not an advantage. But building RV parks, there's a lot of land around that is actually properly zoned that you can put an RV park on and actually create affordable housing.
Do you see light bulbs over top of my head? Boop, 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 boop.
Oh yeah, no, that always
like this. I started having light bulbs.
So. No, well, here's the other light bulb that a lot of people don't look at on this. So, if you can pick up a piece of land affordably that is properly zoned, now, a lot of people get in trouble. They'll go out and they'll find, oh, look at this property is beautiful. It'd be great for a thing. And then try it. And then
I was a realtor. I had people went after the shutdown. I had people going, I want to buy a piece of land and stick a thing on it. And I'm like, whoa. Let's stop right there. First of all, you need to make sure it's zoned. You need to make sure it has buildable rights. You need to make sure that it has water and sewer being able. If not, you gotta have to put in a whole septic tank. You're gonna have to dig a well. And they're like, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot to it.
Oh yeah, the internet is littered with folks that bought up a piece of property to do something else, and they find out I can build a house, and that's it. So
right, you can't have electric or water or
no, we can do solar. It's like it gets complicated.
Then they're like, I meant to do that. It's a hunting cabin.
Yeah. So the difference between the two plays, whether you buy one done or you buy one that you're going to build, is the time frame it takes till you start making money. You buy one that's done, you buy it right, it's making money the day you close escrow. Or like my park, it made me $50,000 when I closed escrow. That's a long story for another time. I got paid to buy. Zero money down, but got paid to buy. But I'm saving that story for another podcast.
Yeah.
Because that gets lengthy. It's a
Tell me
fun
where when and where, and I will be
one.
there to hear that
So maybe
story.
we'll redo another podcast and you can ask me that question.
Yes.
Um, so with that, you start out, you buy one, it's already an active business. Day one, close escrow, you start getting money. Go build one, you're putting out money, you're doing all your inspections, your surveys, your permitting and all that. You're spending a year, maybe 2 years getting everything in the ground, getting everything ready. And then if you've done everything right, then you might make money. Still no guarantee
Gotcha.
because it is a new business that you're trying to establish. So yeah, there's difficulties. So a lot of people will stay away from that. But
Okay. So what I'm hearing is it's a great idea if you're just starting out and don't really know it inside and out to buy something that's already established versus building.
exactly, yeah.
What about have you ever come across any tiny home communities, and is that something that you are into or would be interested in? I mean, maybe not necessarily for people to live in, but like to like Airbnb out or something like that. I mean, have you come across any tiny home communities in your travels?
Actually, there's one on Crexy right now in Texas. Don't remember the name or the where it actually is. They have 6 tiny homes on it, maybe 8. It is within a buy range. It looks like the basic underwriting works on it, but it's just, I'm just not feeling it for me to
Gotcha.
purchase it. But it's definitely worth looking at.
Do they
Um,
have occupants or
I
are
think
they just the
it
homes?
was about half occupied. So
Okay.
this could be a mismanagement, bad marketing problem.
How about this is one of the other light bulbs that was going off when I was talking about them. How about those like boxable type companies? You know what I'm talking about? Where they come, they just like kind of unfold the house right then and there.
Yeah, I've looked at Boxable. It's just not something that I'm putting any effort in right now. I think
Yeah.
didn't Pace do something in Yuma and he did some Boxable or something?
There's someone in the community, and I think they're kind of new, and they had some, I was called Foldums or something like that. It's one of those boxable type things. But I have I don't know what you want to call it. Is the way that I usually do things when something brand new that looks really awesome comes out. I usually stand back for a little bit and wait until all the kinks are worked out before I start diving into said thing.
Yes.
Whether it's something new like a new camera all the way to something like boxable, you know what I mean? But they're doing really well, and I mean the boxable company itself is backed up for like a couple years or something like that on back orders.
Wow.
I mean, this is a time for affordable housing, so that's kind of the reason why I wanted to bring up the tiny homes and the boxables, because it kind of might fit into the category of what you're looking at. If not now, then eventually.
Yeah, it's something that on the horizon possibly, but like you, I'm not 100% sold on it as a long-term investment for some type of housing. I just don't know how they're going to hold up yet.
Yeah, right. I mean, that could be a lot rent type situation too, just like a mobile home park, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the light bulb went off on my part, but something that I always like to remind people of, the one interesting thing that you have in RV parks as an asset is um, if you think about it, you have this chunk of dirt that you have people that are paying you rent on. And really all you have to have when you have an RV park is some roads, whether it's gravel or some type of pavement, spaces, underground utilities. The whole infrastructure isn't that expensive. If you have a clubhouse and showers, that's where it gets expensive. A pool gets expensive. But when you're looking at investing in these, buying them on the outskirts of town, they're usually a little cheaper.
Ooh, yeah.
But here's the thing that I always tell people to think about is, okay, what's the best use for it right now is an RV park. But if that town goes and builds up all around your RV park, is that chunk of dirt now better off developing into 3-story apartments? Can you maximize the profit on that? And the nice thing of a RV park over a mobile home park is you really don't have residents. You have transient people that you don't have to, you can actually clear out an RV park 6 months to a year, you can have it cleared out. Mobile home parks, pretty much across the country, folks live there for a long time, they have residency. Good luck getting them all out to change the use of the property.
Ah.
Yeah. So you can always change the use with an RV park.
So you definitely like the RV park model better. That's your favorite, right?
It's I wouldn't say it's a favorite, and it is depending on where it is, the need in the area, and if you were able to, make money on it. Because the fun thing is, we all talk about, and this is a big conversation in our community, is creating affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in creating affordable housing, for it to be worth us to create affordable housing, we also have to make an income ourselves.
Correct.
And that's that kind of 900-pound gorilla in the room with us. It's
Ourselves and
we still have to
please.
provide for our own families and make money. So there's that thin line that we have to tread where do I get to make enough money and still make it affordable? And so that's always the thing that it plays in the back of my mind with mobile home and also with RV parks. Am I able to supply my customers with, and the big thing, RV parks, all RVers really want is an affordable, clean, safe environment to hang out. They don't really want a lot. They just want it to be affordable, clean, and safe.
Yes.
If you can hit those, you're going to have customers.
Right.
Same thing in mobile homes. They just want to have an affordable, clean, safe place for their family.
No Bigfoot. No, nothing like that lurking in the trees.
Hey, we up at our park, we had bears.
Really?
Oh yeah, we had bears, and I learned from one of the national park rangers, like, part of your job as owning an RV park or an RV resort is to make bears feel unwelcome in your park.
So how do you do that?
Well, I was the only one that was allowed to do this, but we had a Weber barbecue lid and an aluminum bat, and we called it the Bell in the Bat. And whenever there would be a bear sighting, daytime, not in the middle of the night, because they'll run through in the middle of the night. You just don't worry about that too much. But in the daytime, bears come in the park. One of my camp hosts would let me know. They take me to where the bear is being seen. I'd keep an eye on it. They'd run and get the bell and the bat. And the second they roll up in their golf cart, I'd grab that bell and bat, and I'd run at the bear yelling and screaming and rattle on that lid. Bear would freak out and run off out of the park.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what it is about that sound.
It was just the sound, and this crazy old white guy chasing down a bear would scare him off, I guess.
Yeah, no salmon allowed in the park.
Right? No, exactly.
They like it.
But we've had folks that thought it was interesting to leave food out for the bears, so they would come into the park. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not teddy bears, guys. No.
Oh, yeah. Nope. And this
if they're still hungry after they eat what you gave them, guess what? All right. Okay, so there is your buy box, and it will also be in the description in the show notes. And I just wanted to ask you 2 questions I like to ask all my guests. And I also wanted to thank you so much for coming on the show. The question number 1 is, what does success look like to you?
Success for me is, oh gosh, wish you had asked me that so I could be prepared for that one.
I'm sorry.
No, simply no. It is.
Like, how do you know? Like, what are the tall tale signs that you are successful? Like, for example, a
It's
happy
good.
family that looks up
Yeah,
to you and
yeah.
thanks you. Just
Great. Yeah, that. But success for me would be that I am providing a legacy for my kids and my grandkids. When I realize that I have done I've done enough, so this machine will keep going when I'm gone. That's when I feel I've reached success.
perfect. Yeah, I love that. And then the other question is, if you had one piece of advice, one piece of profound advice that you would love to give to our viewers and listeners, whether it's real estate related or in their personal lives, what would that piece of advice be?
This is the same thing that I tell my kids: give yourself grace for your failures and learn from them. Everybody is going to fail. It's a fact of life. Learn from them, give yourself self grace, and continue on.
Yes. And that's what we mean when we say fail forward, right?
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So, Casey, this has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. And I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, and again, thank you for allowing me to do my first podcast ever with you. This is something I'm
Thank
going to
you.
remember for the rest of my life. Um, I'm hoping we're ending pretty soon because I'm
Yes.
going to tear up. This is good.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
you're,
I'm a big old guy that will cry,
I'm
and
so
this
glad
this has
that,
meant so much to me that you took the you accepted me to be on your podcast. I just
of
can't thank you enough.
course, you're so welcome. My honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. So hang back after the show and we'll chat a little more before we part ways, okay?
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.